This is episode number 3 of The Inspiring Talk with author and employability coach Jogesh Jain. Welcome guys to The Inspiring Talk. My name is Bijay Gautam. I'm host for this show. Each week I interview today's most successful and inspiring personalities to help you realize your inner potential. I'm pumped for my guest today, guys. He's an author of the book How to Get That Job, an employability coach. He left his job at reputed multinational company to pursue his passion of helping others to get job with a vision of making every youth more employable. He has touched lives of more than 5,000 students through his book, seminars, and summer camps. He has already shared his ideas to people as keynote speaker in hundreds of seminars. Jogesh is an expert in dermatoglyphics multiple intelligence test through which he helps individuals understand themselves and choose right career. His programs has been widely accepted and appreciated by his students. I was introduced to Jogesh at a training program that we both attended, and I'm glad to know him as he inspires me a lot by doing what he does to help people around him. Guys, make sure that you share this episode with your friends by visiting theinspiringtalk.com/03. That is theinspiringtalk.com/03. And make sure to leave a review and hopefully give a 5-star rating for this show on an Apple or Android device. Without further ado, let me welcome the one and the only Jogesh Jain. Welcome back, guys. Jogesh Jain in the house. Welcome, Jogesh. Thank you very much for joining me.
Hi Bijay, thanks. The pleasure is mine, dear.
So, Jogesh, you left your well-paying job to follow your passion of empowering youths and helping them make more employable. Please share with my audience a little bit of story on what moved within you and why did you do that?
Yeah, so it all started way back in 2009, 2010, where just out of curiosity to earn something more, I started teaching actually. And I teach economics and I have my study over international economics also. So with one of the coaching classes nearby, I used to go there on weekends. So after these talks of economics, students also used to come and ask me for guidance, for mentoring, and also for career choices after their graduation. So it all started there in 2008, 2000 way back. The first step, second step, it all started there. But gradually, I took up that thing very seriously. I started researching about the employability part, and it happened that it is not only a Indian problem; it's a global problem. So that's where the journey started, where I started with economics teaching, but I ended up being an employability coach as my passion.
So, you left your job to help others get theirs, right?
Yes, yes.
So, how hard is it to take that plunge from having a secure job to do something that involves risk?
It's all about priorities, I would say. If one thinks to do something and he does a little bit of planning in place, and if that planning is in place, so decision was already taken, and I was only working on making that decision a little more realistic, practical. So the decision was taken from the right mind, I would say, but from the to make it acceptable from the left mind, there were certain plannings and agreements which were need to be made, and once that is done, it is, we're good to go.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, your book, How to Get That Job, is already out in market. So, where was the idea of writing that book came from?
Like I said, I established myself as an employability coach, and there is this person in Mumbai named Dr. Atreya. He's a very renowned management consultant in India and one of the pioneer of management association across India. So he is the one who mentored me and told me that if you want to establish yourself as a professional and as an expert in your area, the first thing that you have to do is write a book. And I was like, book? I cannot write. And he said, I will guide you, but you have to just follow what I say. And that's where I blindly trusted that person. And today, you will not believe, Bijay, I'm not able to stop myself from writing every day.
Yeah, I can see, the other day you were posting that 3 or 4 titles that you are releasing this year only. I mean, you are on fire, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, I have also emphasized to people saying that having a mentor is very important in one's success journey. The same thing your mentor has done for you. He has shown you the path and you have accomplished amazing things. What was the single best thing your mentor taught you about life? How do you apply the same in your life?
The one thing that he taught was that if you are very committed, very serious, and you just want that one thing to happen, it can be anything. The only thing that you need is persistence. You just have to persist. You try 100 times, get up 101st time. You try 1,000 times, get up 1,001 time. So that getting up act is persistence according to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Persistence with passion. That's called grit. And when you have grit, nobody can stop you.
Right, right.
In your book, How to Get That Job, you talk about strong desire and willful mindset. Why having a good mindset is important for success, and particularly how can one build that kind of mindset?
Yeah, so there is one interesting story which I would want to narrate, and this is about 21st of December 2006. I still remember the date because it was my friend's birthday. I was in my final year of graduation, and we three of us bunked the college because it was his birthday. Next day, when we reached college, we got to know that TCS, or the company where I started my career, came to campus and recruited 35 of 150 people. And the next day we are in college, we missed the opportunity. And that's where my friend Bala, he said, Jogesh, let's go to their campus. And I told him in a fun way that, boss, it's a very big company. Why will they tolerate us? He said, let's try. And that's where next day on 22nd, three of us went there for an interview. Now, the campus was we had to reach at 10 a.m. So by 9 a.m. I called my friend and told him, boss, I do not have formal dress. I do not have something called as resume, which is needed, which I got to understand from one of my friend. So he said, you just come, I'll arrange everything. I reached his place and he arranged from formal attire to formal shoes to even printing of resume. At that time, we required 10 rupees for an access of internet and 10 rupees for printout of that resume. So I was not having that thing as well. So my friend arranged from his father, and we three of us, me, my friend Bala, and another friend, went to TCS's campus. Now here, when we visited, I saw the third friend of mine. He had formal dress, new shoes, new shirt, new pant, and the resume that he was carrying was also in a specific folder. So I was talking, that self-talk started, and I told boss, he is going to get selected. Why? He is in the right attire. He is in the right dress, and he is looking confident also. After 1 hour, the three of us had completed our interview, and after 1 hour, there is this thing in front of us, the result of interview, and can you imagine? Myself and Bala, we got selected, and that person who was in the right attire with right resume, colored resume in the folder, he did not get selected.
So there was a strong desire and willful mindset that came into play.
Right.
What actually you were thinking at that moment of time? What was your thought process?
I was in a survival mode. If I do not get this job, then what? I was scared within, but within the scarcity was also some confidence that I will get it because this is the last resort I have. Nothing else I have. So I was in that mindset that I need this, and I was very sincere about it. I was very committed about it. So although the preparedness, the physical preparedness was not there, but mental and emotional preparedness was too much.
And that's very important for success, that you should be prepared mentally, because everything becomes successful or that we create first is created in our mind. And if we cannot create something in our mind, then in reality that's impossible to create.
Perfect. I agree.
You use DMI test in helping people to get job, right?
Mhm.
What is that and how it could be used by people for their benefit?
I have done a tie-up with a company called CFMID Limited, and with the help of their expertise, we have been able to customize the normal DMIT report to get Ask report. Now that Ask report is attitude, skill, and knowledge report. The normal employability test that is being done currently is on the basis of psychometric, but this employability test of Ask is being done on the basis of your biometric. So, in that report, we try to analyze what are the sectors that an individual can fit into, what are the skills that an individual needs, and what are the knowledge which can be additionally installed in him so that we can bridge the gap that we see in that individual versus what the corporate is expecting.
Can you give us a little glimpse on how does it looks like that when you do this, or how do you do that?
The step to it is that we first take the fingerprint of individual. So I am starting my first batch of personality development for first job from 15th of August, and on the same day I'm also going to launch the Ask report as well as the application on my name Jogesh Jain.
Yeah, absolutely. We
So
will link that up in the show notes for this episode at theinspiringtalk.com.
sure. Like I have a batch of 20 students. Now what I'll do is I'll take fingerprints of these students, and after taking that fingerprint there will be a compiled report which will come in front of me. So before the start of my batch, for first batch, I will have entire analysis ready of these students pain area as well as what are the area which they are very good at. So I will customize my module for next 6 months in the requirement of the batch which I have at my office in my class. So that is being done on the basis like I'll take your first I'll take the fingerprints, and after that the analytical team or the analysis team will prepare that entire report, and that report will come to me so that I can review it and prepare my module.
Okay, perfect. One of your habits that I'm aware is that you take massive action toward your goal and have achieved some great things in your life. How do you keep yourself away from distractions like social media and bring focus back to your work?
So, couple of habits that I have installed in myself is being away from social media. And one of the things that I have recently uninstalled is WhatsApp. What I have observed, Bijay, is there are a lot of benefits which we are aware, but there is one benefit which probably people are not aware of. And I will say that's the primary benefit that you should look for. The first, people say that you'll save a lot of time, and you'll be able to focus. But the benefit which I have observed in myself after uninstalling that particular social media is that there is a flow of thoughts which I go in, and if there is some automatic message which pops up or props up, my flow of that individual thought is broken. And for me, it is very difficult to come back and connect with that thought in the same frequency. So after the distraction from social media, stopping the social media, the flow of thoughts are not only started, but it is also being nurtured and action is being taken. So it is helping me to be more focused, but it is primarily helping me to create from creation to completion. Entire thought process is completed. It is not broken in between.
So, guys, if you are not as determined as Jogesh is, then you can simply turn the notifications off of your social networking sites or WhatsApp or whatever it is so that you can completely focus on your work monomaniacally. You help a lot of students to land their perfect job. One question that most of people neglect and often is the most important is tell me something about yourself. And not only in the job interviews, during our day to day life, we can see people struggling while introducing themselves. What, according to you, is the best way to introduce yourself and what to include and what is absolutely unnecessary?
The question is very common, but the answer differs from a person who is a fresher to a person who is experienced. Now, if I'm an experienced individual, I'll start off with my experience, like current experience, then followed by previous experiences. followed by your academics, and then if there are any additional certifications that you might have done, then you would say your personal interest and family background. For a fresher, it starts with what they have completed recently in their studies, their midterm or assignment that they had taken. Now, here the catch is people talk about their assignment, but they forget to talk about their learnings out of those assignments. And these learnings can not only be academic, but also on the skill basis, like they learn problem solving skill, they learn interpersonal skills. So that talk has to come, or those points has to come in talk when they gave their introduction. So it would make an individual who is a fresher, when they are introducing themselves, it will make them more different from the rest of hundreds or thousands who are giving their introduction, and then followed by their interest and family background.
Obviously, that is about making yourself stand out of the crowd. If you are able to make yourself stand out of the crowd, then you can crack that interview or that board meeting or whatever it is, you can nail it.
Mhm. Right.
Now, let's talk about the challenges, struggles, or obstacles that you might have faced. So, what was the biggest challenge you have faced in your journey?
A lot of them, but it is like they say you leave 9 to 5 job to work 24 by 7. So what specifically I have faced is I was in the transition from working, and the entire culture when you're working is totally different from when you are on your own. So couple of challenges which I faced. There was a situation after leaving job where I was only available with 1 week's saving. Only 1 week saving, everything else exhausted.
So, how did you overcome that challenge? How do you come out of that, all the challenges, struggles, or obstacles that came along your way?
So it is this way, Bijay. I have seen something which is a challenge to me, and what I do next is very important. Do I make that challenge as my identity, or I say that the challenge is different and I am different? What people normally do is that they make their challenge or they make their obstacle in front of them as their identity. And when you make something your identity, it is very difficult to stay away or make that specific challenge away from you. It will be with you for long term. So what I specifically did is, although I have that situation in front of me, now what do I need to do? And then immediately I took certain actions which helped me, and I also did a review of what made me come to this situation so that I do not follow the same pattern or same mistakes. Then after 1 week or 1.5 weeks, the situation was reversed. So assess, review, and then improvise on your actions, or improvise on your situation. Don't make that challenge, don't make that situation your identity.
In Army, they call it AAR, that is After Action Review. And that's the catch here. It is very important for you to sit back and see what went right and what went wrong in your past action, because that will help you to make better informed decision for your next step in future. So that's learning from your mistakes so that you won't repeat them again and you can plan better for your future.
Right, right.
What was the most important lesson that you have learned coming through these struggles or obstacles along your way?
A couple of lessons. One is the situations are not permanent. Any situation, be it good, be it not so good, both of them are temporary. Be prepared for worst. Be prepared for any situation that comes. If you are psychologically or mentally prepared for those situations that yes, they will come, your acceptance is easy, number one. And if your acceptance is easy, there is no panic. And if there's no panic, you are in a better state to manage those situations. You are in a better stage to take corrective actions in those situations. But if you say that this though, so there should not be any need for certainty. If there's a complete need of certainty, sorry, entrepreneurship is not for you. There are ups and downs that will come, and you have to first of all psychologically accept that yes, there will be ups and downs. And if you accept that, then next step comes is what made you come here, and then comes how can you go from here to next step.
Guys, I am excited about Enlightening Round and you should be as well. But before we proceed, here's a small request for you. if you enjoy listening to The Inspiring Talk podcast, make sure that you visit theinspiringtalk.com and leave your comments there. And if you are listening me through iTunes, make sure that you leave a review there and hopefully give a 5-star rating. That means a lot to me. And make sure that you share this episode with your friends and let me know what you think about this by tagging me @Bijay Speaks and Jogesh @Jogesh Jain. So welcome back guys to the enlightening round. So Jogesh, what inspires you to do everything that you do?
For me, the only source of inspiration is youth. And when I say youth, it ignites me, it inspires me, it is like oxygen in my body. And to that extent, because of the need for contribution that I have very high, that specific word or term, when I hear, it ignites me. I mean, I must say, Bijay, just last couple of days back, I was in Ghatkopar for a launch of youth form that they have created, youth appraisal form. And I was not well that day. I was not well. I was not even able to get up from bed. But as soon as that call came that you have to come and talk to youth, boom, I was up. I was up. I was there at 8 p.m. sharp. I don't know what happens to me at that time, but whatever happens to me is giving me a message that I am made, I am here, and the purpose of my soul being is only youth.
Yeah, that's a great catch there. If you are driven by something, then nothing can stop you, not even your sickness. Which one daily habit do you believe has been game changer for you in your success journey?
Writing. So I spend almost 45 to 50 minutes daily to reflect and to write. Now, what I write is a couple of things. One is my titles that I'm, publishing very soon. Two, what are my three key wins of the day, of the previous day? And what are my three key learnings of the previous day? These three things I write daily. And I keep that in my journal, which I have. And reviewing that journal of 1 month back, 2 months back, 5 months back, at the end of the day, ignites me again. And that is something, is an habit I have been following for last couple of months now. It's a must for everyone who is into any field, I must say.
Journaling has also been game changer for me as well. When I write on journals, like when I plan my day and when I reflect what happened through all day, it is game changer when you go back and look at that, and you can plan always better when you are writing and reflecting on your notebook or journal or whatever it is. As Brian Tracy says, think on paper. So it is very important for people to write on journal or their notebook. Recording thoughts is very important. Which one book, according to you, is a must read for everyone seeking to improve their life?
There's this book which I started my reading with. On a personal note, that book inspired me to read further, and it also inspired me to have that attitude of never give up. The title of the book is Every Street is Paved with Gold. I repeat, Every Street is Paved with Gold. I do not currently remember the author, but that specific book, I started my reading with that book in the year 2004, sorry. And I have not stopped after that for reading. And I have invested my lot of time in reading, and that has been a habit which also is a must for everyone who is lifelong student.
Yes, absolutely. Hal Elrod, in his best-selling book, The Miracle Morning, has also mentioned these two habits along with other four that he suggests are the best way to start your morning. And yes, again, writing, reading, and reflecting are the habits that you can move forward without.
Right.
Consider that this microphone is connected to ear of each of 7 billion people in this world. For 1 minute, what message would you like to share with these people? And these all people are listening to you, and you have got 1 minute to give your message to these 7 billion people in this world. What would your message be?
My message to 7 billion people on this planet is this: help every youth you meet. The reason I say is, although there are a lot of government institutes, a lot of national NGOs which are working for youth, but we as a community come together to work towards the youth and to direct them, to guide them, to mentor them for their future. A lot of changes that we can see in the entire planet. And if we want to make this change on the entire planet, we will have to come together as a community. And there are a lot of community services, not necessarily that you have to give money. The best thing that you can give is your time. Once a week, for 1 hour, go and talk with youth in their schools, in their colleges, in their coaching classes. Go and talk, share your story. A lot of people are waiting to hear that story, and you never know what your story can do. So it can inspire one people, it can inspire 100, it can inspire 1,000. Just do go and talk to these people whenever you have time, but make it as your habit, make it as your opportunity to give back to your society.
It is especially important for elder people because they have got that experience, but youth has got that energy, but they do not have as much experience as these people have. So I believe that it is responsibility of these people to take responsibility to empower youth and help them with the experience that they have, and let them create something amazing with energy that these young people have.
Right. Perfect, Bijay.
So we come to end of this enlightening round, and my last question for this enlightening round is, if you were to start this success journey all over again, what are those 3 things that you would have done differently?
Differently, I don't know, because I do my things already differently. And what additionally can I do? Because I always operate at how can this be my best version of whatever I do. So with that question, I always start. But taking your question again, I would have my mentors, which I have already in place. So I would have had them at the start, because you need someone on this journey who is guiding and mentoring you, questioning you, and also supporting you. So I will one have my mentor, right? Then I will connect with corporates and college institutes and bring them together with my inputs, with my expertise or with our expertise. These are the 2 that I can think of.
That's absolutely fine. So now, before we say goodbye, can you please share where can people find more about you and your business or your book? Please feel free to share your website or social media so that people can connect with you.
There is this website called www.jogeshjain.com, and books that I have written titled How to Get That Job, and there are 4 more which is getting published in October, which will be available on Amazon. You can also subscribe to my channel Jogesh Jain on YouTube. Reach out to me, my page on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and also LinkedIn. It'll be great to connect with you guys.
That was amazing talk with you, Jogesh. Thank you very much for being on the show. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Bijay. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
There you have it. Guys, if you got some inspiration, if you learned something from this episode, make sure that you share it with your friends by visiting theinspiringtalk.com/03. There are some tweetables on show notes. Make sure you tweet them by visiting theinspiringtalk.com/03. And don't forget to tag me and Jogesh on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And guys, don't get stuck in your life doing things you don't love. Stop! Know your strengths and act on them to gift this world with something that world has never witnessed. Thank you for listening, and now go out there and create something inspiring.